This weekend, I made Christmas cards out of this Simple Stories, Simple Vintage North Pole collection. I used the scrapbook papers, the 6x8 paper pad, the stickers from the 12x12 scrapbook papers kit, and the Santa bits and pieces ephemera. I also used the add-on scrapbook paper in the solid colors. This kit was an absolute blast to make, and I hope you enjoy while I go through what I did for each card. So the first card, I used the snowflake scrapbook paper, and I made it fit a full-size card. It's about a 4x6, so I made it a little larger. I wanted to incorporate the Jingle All the Way journal card and just accented it with a couple of the Santa bits and pieces ephemera. I did not use the other ephemera kit because it was not available when I was purchasing my items. And I purchased most of my stuff from Crafts Direct. So I used that block just to kind of help give me a guide as to where to put the journal card, so I didn't have Santa kind of covering up any of the Jingle All the Way. So I always have my trusty Tim Holtz glue, and I will say that nozzle clogs a bit, but you don't need much glue, so it's really not a problem. But I always use that glue. I just want to tell people, if that is something that would frustrate you, I have to stick a pin in that a lot. So on this one, that is Scotch tape, gold glitter tape that I have. I'm not sure if that's considered a washi tape or just a decorative Scotch tape. So I used the gold to border that Santa Fe scrapbook paper. And I don't know, it took me a little bit to line that one up, but I loved it once it was done. And it's repositionable and very easy to use. I had not used it in a while, so you'll see that I take that first strip and trim it off and just use some fresh, because I didn't want to have to use glue on it. I just cleaned up my little pencil marks, and then I put my tape down. It went down easy as can be, and it looks fantastic. This card, actually, when I was complete, I showed all my cards to my husband and my daughter, and this one was his favorite card. So he is a fan of the vintage Santa. That is the vintage, probably the largest piece from the bits and pieces ephemera. That's Santa head, and it makes it so easy to do a card because you only need one large piece. And what I added to it, I have my cards sitting right here, is I added a Ho 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 Merry Christmas sentiment from my Queen & Company North Pole kit. And I just put it on. I already had a label stamped. It was a rectangular stitch label that's also from Queen & Company. So I just grabbed that off my table and stuck it down. I like to save myself time, and once I have the stamp on my Tim Holtz stamp, whatever that press is, I like to make extras. So here I was going to use a flag, and the flag was a little small for the Ho Ho Ho, and I remembered, I made an extra one of these. So it worked great, trimmed off the excess, and stuck it down. And I did pop Santa up on some Scotch foam tape, and I will add a little bit of glue. I put a lot of foam tape on him, so I spared you guys and kind of cut some of this out. But as I was peeling it off, I thought, my gosh, he's not going anywhere. And then added some glue, because if you put in that much effort, he may as well stay down. So he is all set, easy as pie. Those two cards, so quick and simple. So on card number 3, I used the blue 12x12 scrapbook paper from the extra add-on kit. Well, I guess it's not an add-on kit, but it's just extra paper that you could use. And I don't have a lot of solids in paper, and since it was vintage and it matched the kit, I thought this was a smart purchase. Put that on, then used one of the large journal cards, which that journal card kit was very handy to have. And I just kind of used that like a picture frame to put the sentiment, which was from a smaller journal card, and the stockings are from the Santa Bits and Pieces ephemera. Everything went so well. It was so easy to assemble and so much fun. The foam tape I have on the back of the sentiment is actually scrapbook.com, but I liked it. I like it a lot. It's a lot more firmer than the Scotch tape, and it was extra left over from a sheet of it. I think the sheet comes in a 4x6, and it was really easy to trim up. I might switch to that for my foam tape from now on. I mean, the rolls are nice, but it's kind of nice to be able to trim out easily what you need. So these just stick right on. They don't have to be perfect, because stockings never hang perfectly anyways. And I tried to speed up the gluing, but not the rest of the assembling. Then I decided to put a little bit of bling, and these little guys were falling and spinning all over the place on me, but I get them on. And because I was having to fumble with them so much, I thought it was best that even though they're self-adhesive, I think I picked those up from Amazon maybe like 2 years ago. I thought it was smart to put some glue on. And I used the pick-up stick, but that pick-me-up stick, I don't think I use it right, because you'll see I just switch to my fingers. I try to use the tools, but I just don't think I use them right. But it turned out great. So on to the next card, and this one's one of my favorite. I use the Santa scrapbook paper, and I tend to always go for the scrapbook paper because the images are larger than on that 6x8 pad, and I just like that. It's just a personal preference. So if you have the 6x8 pad, just use that pad, and if you have the ephemera, then use the ephemera. If you don't use journal cards, this is just to kind of inspire and help people. And I like watching others assemble cards, so I hope you guys enjoy these videos. But this was a journal card, and I thought, that looks like a picture frame. This would be perfect for Santa's face. And pop him on. I actually put him on flat, and then added a flag with "Here Comes Santa Claus" from my Queen & Company stamp set. And it's funny, not until I was doing this voiceover did I realize the Queen & Company set is called the North Pole set, and the Simple Stories is called the Vintage North Pole set. That's just funny to me that the two sets I picked had North Pole in them. What are the odds? Stamp platform, that is what that's called, so I use my stamp platform. Stick it on, easy peasy, and of course you could embellish. I just try to do most of my cards as flat as possible so they go through the mail. It just makes it easier when you're mailing an absolute ton of cards, and I don't tend to use those liquid embellishments, although sometimes I do, but it slows me down, and I will always come back and do that later. Now this is one of my favorites because the blue in that extra scrapbook paper set is amazing to me. I mean, it's like a snowy blue, sky blue. I just love it. It would look so pretty if you would emboss little snowflakes in white on that paper. That would be so nice. But I was going for easy and fast and went for the paper, the large Santa in the Sleigh ephemera, and then I thought it would be pretty to emboss "Ho Ho Ho Merry Christmas" from that Queen & Company stamp set in white. And I had just bought the white, and it is the Ranger, I think it's called Ultra Fine, and I used my Brutus Monroe embossing ink, and it worked great. very easy. I make a little bit of a mess with it, but that's kind of embossing powder. But the super fine, I mean, it is crazy fine, and I think it really gave it a great detail. As I'm looking at the card right now, and it looks, I mean, you can read every word. I have another white embossing that's not super fine powder, and I don't know, when I don't get as crisp of a look. Now on this one I wanted to use a glue stick because I wanted Santa flush, and I thought it would be easier to use a glue stick. Sometimes I pull glue sticks in and out. I find them easy and less messy. And you never have to worry about them warping your paper. But you do have to sometimes wipe off some excess with them. So Santa is getting ready to go on this white card, and all of these, except for that one 4x6 card, these are all A2 size. Let's see how many. I'm looking at them. Oh, let's see. Some of these are larger. Some of these, the first three look like 4x6. Maybe the third one might be a 5x7. Then these, the fourth and fifth cards are A2. This is an A2 card. I use the striped candy cane paper. And I use, all of these are cut with my Simon Says stamp stitched rectangles. And then I use the blue paper to back Santa. And he is a journal card, and yes, I made him smaller with a stitched rectangle. I like that. It looks so finished off. These were all so simple, so easy. They're gonna lay nice and flat, and I think that they look like they took hours to make, and they really did not. I worked on them Saturday, and then I finished them up on Sunday. And I actually was going to do 10, but at the end there was a card just screaming to be made, so I went ahead and made 11. And these were all planned. And then on Sunday, I just kind of played. And here we go. Here's Sunday. I pull out my typewriter because I had an idea. So this is from the plain scrapbook paper. And that white, it's white, but it has like water spots and watermarks and distress. It took me a couple tries, and it took me 3 tries. That first try, it was too long. So I couldn't do 1, 2, 3 Candy Cane Lane. I had to do just Santa Claus, Candy Cane Lane, North Pole. And then I will take it out and trim it. Can you imagine if I really could type that fast? My this is just not like a keyboard. I bought this at an auction years ago, and I hardly ever use it. And I don't change the ink cartridge because it's kind of faded and it gives me a dull look. But it's a little more effort to have to kind of type over and over again each letter. But it only took a few minutes, and quite frankly, it's fun to get it out. Now this striped paper, I wanted it to look like mail, and this is in that 6x8 paper pad. So the same set, 6x8 paper pad, and I just trim it. I was gonna trim it with my scissors, and then I thought, no, I want this to be really straight. Look at that. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? I mean, it took me maybe an extra 15 minutes. It took me forever to find the typewriter. I put it away. It used to sit out on a desk, and now my daughter is doing virtual online school through her local school, but it's online. Oh my gosh, it took me forever to find, where did I put it? And I had just put it under the desk in a cabinet, but I couldn't remember. I don't know if any of you get like that, but when I clean up in a rush, I can never remember where I put stuff. So I thought this turned out fantastic, and I'm definitely going to do this to the other Santa that's like this. So the other Santa is smaller, so it might just be like S. Claus North Pole or something. It might be small, but again, I just used all my stamps and dies from that North Pole kit from Queen and Company, and that's a really fun kit. I did a video on that. That is a super fun kit to work with, but not really a kit that you can mail to too many people because it will take some, I will have to package it. Now, so the snowbank is from the Tim Holtz Home for the Holidays, and that's not available anymore, but you could easily just trim out a snowbank. And after I assembled the card, I thought it would have been pretty under his feet to put a piece of red and white twine and then wrap it behind the card. That would have been pretty. It would have been like he was running down a candy cane lane. So when I do my next card with him, I'm going to do that. Or you could even do a tag like that, and it would be pretty with that smaller Santa holding the mail to have him running across the tag with the mail, and then it would be pretty on the back to have that twine wrapped around the back. So here I am just gluing him down and stick him on the card, and it's just as simple as that. And for as easy as that was, I think it makes a very personalized custom card that you would have a very unique card. I'll just glue down this label, and the label, well, the sentiment says Christmas wishes from our home to yours. And I choose 2 of the holly and berry ephemera pieces and stick that around the Christmas wishes sign. It just added a little extra color, and I liked how it brought in more of the green from Santa and the mail. Trim that off and stick it down. I mean, these cards are so simple to make, so much fun, and there's so much to choose from. You really cannot make a mistake or run out of ideas. So if you have this kit, you are going to have so much fun. If you don't have it, I've seen it available on many websites. I know that the ephemera is getting limited, and the ephemera was probably my favorite part. I don't know, the papers are really good. You know, if you get the papers, they have those 2 pages that have pictures that you can cut out, and you can fussy cut, or you can use dies to cut around, and even if you couldn't get the ephemera, you could make a beautiful card. And scrapbook.com has an essentials kit that I think that comes with ephemera and these stickers, so that if you can't find the ephemera separate, you can buy the kit. Okay, that looks like a sticker. So I use, let's see, I've got it right in front of me. I didn't use ephemera, I used stickers. So that's the holly and berry stickers. It's perfect. That might be my favorite card, but it's got some stiff competition. Now on this one, let's see, this is a Halloween die set. I cannot remember the name of this set, but it's Tim Holtz. It's still available, and I used the stars from that. So I had some extra stars left over from Halloween that were larger, and I just tossed them on the card to see if I liked it, and I did. So I wanted to run off some more stars and use the smaller stars for that. So I figured Santa was kind of small, so I didn't want to use too large of stars. And the stamp is also a Tim Holtz stamp. It is by Stampers Anonymous, and it's called Christmas Time. You get a lot of those sentiments. This was the first time I had ever used any of those stamps from that stamp set. So as my goal continues to use things that I have not used that are in my stash, if it's Christmas, it's been pulled out. I've got all the stamps sitting on a table. I've got all the dies in a basket, and they're right there at the ready, and I just flip through. But I did have to pull out the Halloween stamp for a star, but to me those stars look like North Stars. I just love them. And they come in very handy. A lot of my Halloween stamps from Tim Holtz I use for other seasons. So he tends to puts die kits together that you can use in multiple ways. So just easy as that. Then I stamped this in Ranger Black Superfine embossing powder, and that was something that I had bought, I don't know, a year or two ago and not used. So I have my Brutus Monroe embossing ink right there. I stamped it with that and then tossed that powder on. And I'm sure I make a mess again. I mean, I don't make a mess on my table, but I tend to get my fingers in it. But I don't use embossing powder that much, although I love it. And I thought with these cards, they did such beautiful artwork that you didn't need to add much to them. So it was nice to have the time to use my embossing powders. And that Santa and reindeer come in the Santa Bits and Pieces ephemera, but I didn't have to use any because, I mean, look, that was right there. Now this I did make. I've heard people talk about how much black embossing powder will make a mess on your paper. So I did pull it away. I took a little paintbrush and swished off a few pieces. Like, I don't ever think to use those anti-static, and I have one. I made one with like little spice bags and some, I think I used baking powder, but I don't ever think to use it. And I don't ever have a problem, so now I might have jinxed myself. But I did, if I had have used it, I probably would not have had to have gotten out that paintbrush and dusted the excess off. So I kind of mess around with these till I get them just right, and then I glue them down with my Tim Holtz glue, and I try to use my new tweezers. I love these tweezers, these reverse tweezers, but I'm not used to using them yet. Like it's just very natural to hold things down, but to actually squeeze and pick up, I just haven't gotten used to that yet. So it looks fantastic, and I got those for like $2.50 at scrapbook.com. Best purchase ever. So that is all set and ready to go. And like I said, my goal was flatter pieces that will mail easily. Now this one is, because of this vintage paper and because of this sled, I kind of got the idea of pulling out a die that I had not used. And let's see, this die is called Sleigh Ride. It is discontinued. It's a Biggs die. I bought it years ago, and I thought I recorded myself actually cutting it open because I had not opened it. This is a much older die and had not even opened it. So cut it open and pulled it out, and I thought, I want to see what a black sleigh would look like. Well, it looked fantastic. It looked great on this card, and I apologize if you can't get the sleigh, but just pull out things that you have from your stash. You might even have a sleigh graphic on something that you could decoupage on top if you want it. But it had carriage. Let's see, I'm gonna look at it. It has, underneath it, it says horseshoeing, and then there's a Mary definition right under the blade, and above it, it says carriages, and then down to the side says sleighs. I'm sure I showed it already. The wreath was bugging me because it was too bright. Like, I love the holly up there where it says carriages, but the wreath was just kind of in the way of where the sleigh was going. So I cut a square out from that square sheet of scrapbook paper where it has all squares, and it was from the same paper, so you cannot really even tell. I'm looking at it right now. I just used a glue stick, stuck it down, and put the sleigh on top, and you can't really tell. it kind of tricks the eye because it's the same paper. On the 6x8 pad, I do not think you get the carriage. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think you get that sleigh. So, but I absolutely love this. And I tried to speed up the gluing because of that nozzle sticking. So I hope that's not like too fast, but it was taking a while. That was my most time-consuming part of making the cards, was getting the glue out. But I love that glue, so it's worth it to me to, you know, kind of fight with that nozzle. I probably could take the nozzle off and soak it, but I don't ever think to do things like that when I'm not using it. So the snowflake is that's an older die. I don't know if any of you remember the movers and shapers that Sizzix made. They're big dies, even though some of them are small. You put them in a little shuttle, or you can put them. Yeah, you have to have the shuttle, and you can cut just a snowflake in anything. Make a gift bag out of it or whatever. You can use the positive for ephemera, the positive and the negative for however you want. But these are the only snowflakes I have other than one really big snowflake. So I used a silver one, and then I used it was just silver glitter, die cuts with a view paper, and then the Lawn Fawn pixie dust for the white paper. And I put a little red twine and stuck it down. And there I used my reverse tweezers. That's just so handy to have. So these I picked up when I bought all of the scrapbook paper from that Crafts Direct company. And because I thought the black might look nice. And I thought it really added a lot to that corner. And I would trim the twine because I'm more of a trim it a couple of times before you cut too much. So I trim it till I get it right. And then this card is done. Just love it. You could really put anything. There were on some of the paper, some of that collage print of the paper, there's black trees. And so black tree might look cool doing the same type of thing. This is the die, just in case any of you have it in your stash. Thought you might recognize it. This had to have been a popular die because it is just so pretty. Okay, this one was supposed to be the last card, and I wanted to use the stripe paper. And then I thought, I haven't used any of these little journal cards, so let me pick one of these and put this on. So I wind up going with the Holly Jolly and let's see, what does it say? Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. And I kind of wanted a collage-y look. And as I was looking through stuff, I thought, I haven't used the polka dots yet, and I love these polka dots. I mean, these were two of the reasons I bought this set. So I thought, put them together. It might be busy, but it's going for that whole collage look I'm going for, and I think it turned out great. It is busy, but I love it. And I have the, what is that thing from scrapbook.com, Magic Mat. This one die set, I've used all my dies that I like, all my round, my square, my rectangular stitch dies don't work on that. I am not sure why. I kind of think it's the dies. I don't think it's the Magic Mat because I'm not having any trouble with any other die than that one. So, but I've been very happy with that Magic Mat. And I think it did sell out, and they sent an email stating that, you know, it's a new product and they are warranting it for 90 days instead of 30 days because it went viral and sold out, and they want to make sure people are happy with it. So I thought, well, scrapbook.com, that was nice to receive. Said if you had any problems, you know, check the die, check the age of the machine you're using, that kind of thing. It makes the transition through the die press much smoother. I really like it. I think for $9.99, it delivers. So I hope you guys like this card. I hope it's not too busy. It's a little different than what I typically make, but I love it. And it was really fun to assemble. I would encourage you to get out those stickers and start sticking them down, because once I started, I had a hard time stopping. It was fun. So if you got the Essentials kit, or you purchased the ephemera and I initially go for the ephemera boots. And I tried to work Santa in there, but I had done so much with Santa, and I really wanted to use the ornaments. So there's just so much product left over. I can use this for years, and I'm thrilled about that. You know, something I did get from scrapbook.com, and it's on the way, was they have the 13 by 13 storage folders, and I thought it would come in handy to keep my ephemera and my paper sets together. Now, where I'm going to store them, cross your fingers, my little cubbies will fit them, but I really liked them. And if worse comes to worse, I'll just have to, I don't know, buy a bin or something to stick them in. But I think they will work. I think my cubbies work. I have the white cubbies from IKEA, and you can stick those canvas bins in them. So here I'm just going back and forth, and I kind of sped it up because I thought people would want to see the process, but not how slow it actually took me to do the process. Because like I said, I don't normally use the stickers, but I really thought collaging might be great with this collection because everything was it just goes so well together. I think Simple Stories has fast become my favorite paper company. No complaints. The quality's great. And you know, one thing I purchased that I didn't even use for this was they're like metal stickers. I don't think they call them brads, but they're metal stickers and they're little circles. I purchased those, and I am going to do a home decor something with this, maybe use those Tim Holtz alterations. I think they're like core board tags, and work with that 6x8 pad. Use up some of the ephemera I haven't used, maybe crack open the other package of it I bought. So look, it went together so simple. And then I pulled in it was a Santa hat with a little rhinestone on the top, and that's from Hobby Lobby. This was the one that I was done, but I thought, would that circle die go around him? And these umbrella craft circle dies are so handy. They tend to nest around. I'm sure everything's a standard size, and that's why they're the size that they are. But it nested around so beautifully, and I love that polka dot paper and wanted to use the rest of it. And then I had a piece of the white sitting there and thought, well, I could do red, white, and black like a Santa suit. It just came together so quick, I thought, why not? And it's one of my favorites. And I do pop him up on some foam, but I use that craft foam, that self-adhesive fun foam, and he's not real high. And I always, when I use that fun foam, but if it's a standard square or circle, I just take the size down, cut the foam out, and then stick it on, then glue it to whatever I'm making. It just makes it so much faster. And I should try it. I don't think that thick foam, you can buy the thick foam sheets, like I have the 4x6 sheets from scrapbook.com. I don't know if that would go through my big shot. It's thick. I like it. It's a nice quality. It's thick. I think it's more for making shaker cards, but it might. I don't know. If anybody's ever tried it, let me know in the comments. And also let me know if, anything's too fast or you have any questions. And I so wish that there was a way that you guys could share what you made so that I could see it. If anybody makes anything and puts it on Pinterest with this set, or anything that I do a video on. You know I love it, and that's why I made the video. Let me know in the comments and I'll go check it out and save it to my Pinterest board. So that was just a piece of scrap black paper I had, trimmed it down with my trusty Tim Holtz paper trimmer. And you know, I'm toying with buying that deckled edge paper trimmer. If anybody has that, let me know if you like it. I think that would work really well with this set, with the vintage and the deckled edge. I just think that would be very pretty. Let me know if you have it, and let me know if you like it. Oh, that would be fantastic to know. So here's where I decide I'm popping him up. And I always pick like a matching fun foam and to put underneath. And I had a birthday card that I had made for my niece, and it happened to be laying on the kitchen table, you know, waiting for my family to sign. And I caught a glance at the side of it and thought, I am so glad I matched that fun foam, because when you look at them from the side, it makes a difference if your foam doesn't match. I mean, yes, that's being particular, but that's all right. So I am almost done with this card and so happy with it. And I put a lot of glue on the fun foam because I don't know if it absorbs it, but I just want to make sure it stays on. And the nice thing about glue and glue stick is it gives you some wiggle room. It gives you some time if you need to move things around. I love that. So I know that's a simple card, but I love it, and I hope you guys love it. And tell me which one's your favorite. I would love to know that. So here we'll do the last run through. And as soon as I get done with this, I'll probably go run down and pull these papers back out and see what else I can come up with. I don't know if I'll get another card video out, but I really am going to try to get a little home decor video out, because their collage papers, where they collage things and then printed it, they're so fantastic. So I don't want these sitting in a drawer for 10 years and then I pull them out. I really want to start using what I've got and enjoying it. I hope you guys do the same. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe to see what I come up with next, and I hope you guys have a blast with this card kit. Again, thanks for watching.